So many people have said that applying for Katie Beckett is a really difficult process. It's so difficult that many people just actually give up. And so I thought I would bring in an expert to talk about that. And so I'm pleased to introduce Carrie, and she's going to tell us who she is.
I'm Kerry Woodcock. I'm the Executive Director for Maine Parent Federation. I'm also the parent of 2 children with special health care needs. My 12-year-old has Down syndrome and is actually a Katie Beckett participant. My 15-year-old has ADHD and dyslexia and is not a Katie Beckett participant. Maine Parent Federation is a nonprofit grant-funded federation, and we offer supports to families who have children with special health care needs. And because we're grant-funded, we don't require any qualifying circumstances for parents, nor do they don't have to have Maine Care, they don't have to have Katie Beckett, and they don't have to have any specific diagnosis. And all of our services to families are free of charge. Because of our grants, we are able to help families navigate medical processes, school processes, mental health processes. So any processes that they come in contact when you have a children with a special health care need, we can help them navigate.
That sounds really amazing. So I have 2 questions for you.
Great.
And so the question number 1 is, why is the process so difficult?
So the Katie Beckett process is difficult because it's a 2-step process, and most times families are not aware of the 2 steps. So in order to qualify, you first have to go through the qualifying processes of Maine Care. So you have to submit your paperwork, you have to submit your financial paperwork as well with that, and you have to go through the process of being either found not eligible based on your financial criteria or eligible based on your financial criteria. And usually what happens is if you're not found eligible, you get a letter home in the mail saying that you're not eligible. And most parents at that time assume that means Katie Beckett as well. What they don't realize is that you then have to take it another step further and forward your application through the Katie Beckett process and make it clear that you have an individual who's a child with a disability and they may actually qualify for the Katie Beckett waiver. And sometimes what ends up happening is families are not made aware of this. They think that they're just not eligible, and then the appeal day process expires and they're not able to apply at all for the Katie Beckett waiver. So what we do is we sort of help families navigate that process and educate them on it. But it can be very, very confusing because it is a 2-step process. And on the initial application for Maine Care, it does ask if you have a child with a disability. So oftentimes we'll inform families to highlight that and make sure that it's clear, and sometimes it will get forwarded onto the Katie Beckett office on its own, but that's never 100% assured that will happen. So we always make sure that we educate families on making sure that they follow up. But a lot of times when you get a notice in the mail that you've been declined or not accepted, families give up because they don't know that there's another process, and it makes it very confusing.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you. And so what do you recommend to help people get through this process?
So Maine Parent Federation has the availability to sign one-to-one peers to families who have children with disabilities, and it's called our Family Support Navigator program. It's one of our more popular programs, and we take individuals who have children at home with disabilities and have navigated the process, and we put them through a training, and then we're able to match them with families who are in need of navigating different processes, and they can provide some one-to-one assistance with families. So we can actually sit down with a family and educate them on filling out the paperwork. Our motto is we're not going to do it for the family. We're going to help and educate them on doing it with them. And so when they're navigating another process that requires the same type of paperwork, they might be able to do it on their own. But we will sit down with them one-on-one, fill out the paperwork, show them how to submit it, and we will also show them how to follow up, and we'll remain with that family through the process until they either get denied, accepted, or have to go through the appeal, until there's an end result for them that will result hopefully in that individual getting the Katie Beckett waiver. And this just isn't specific to Katie Beckett, it's specific to any system that a family is navigating. But this is something that we have the time and the ability and the funding to do that most providers in an office visit don't have the time to do. So what I would recommend is a provider connecting a family with our organization by handing out our brochures or giving them our phone number, and we will get them connected with where they need to be connected. We're also open to, if providers would like to have a family support navigator in their office so that they can do a warm handoff to families. That's something that we're trying to expand our family support navigator program into. So if that's something providers are interested, please get in contact with us, and we'll be happy to try to arrange that.
Oh, that sounds really lovely. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.